Hey y'all, Carla here. This time back with my review of the second episode of season 2 of Scorpion, which is titled Cuba Libre. In this episode, I didn't love as much as the first one. I was saying last time that I really like the fact that the show embraces how outlandish and crazy and impossible it is. However, there are certain things that where I just cannot suspend my disbelief, and it's this one was one of those where the outlandish stuff didn't necessarily make me laugh, and then the rest of the story didn't necessarily hit me. You know what I mean? Like, on the one hand, I smiled when they, for example, when they started making thermite out of rust and aluminum paper foil or whatever. That made me smile. And then the whole sausage thing when they used the the sausage to open the safe box with the thumbprint sensor and stuff. I laughed at that. That made me laugh so hard. But the rest of it was kind of I don't know. I guess my limit is when they make it too easy for them to like get in and out of a foreign country completely undetected. It happened in the last season when they went to that, I don't know, war zone in Serbia or wherever it was, Ukraine, I'm not even sure. And this time again, it's like, really, you think you can really get into Cuba that easily? And it just it doesn't do much for me when they make it too easy. So the whole trip to Cuba I didn't really care for. It was also kind of meh. I mean, I liked the plot about Walter pointing out all the emotional versus logical thing, the whole thing through. I like that because one of my pet peeves with Walter is that he is emotional, he just doesn't want to accept it, and I'm glad that now they have Paige there trying to make him see that he's just in denial. That is very interesting, and I really like the speech that she gave him in the end. Up until that point, I had been once again kind of disappointed because they weren't giving Paige much to do. Like, they took her to Cuba so that she could control Sonia, and then they barely even talked. You know what I mean? So I was feeling kind of disappointed at that, but then I really liked her speech to Walter at the end. I thought that was very appropriate in the general sense that you need both as a human being in order to feel good, to feel balanced, to feel stable. You need both logic and emotion. And it seems that Walter is trying to figure it out, or at least attempting to go with that idea. So we'll see in the next episode what that does. The whole Sylvester and Toby thing, I wasn't really too much into it. Like, I felt it came out of nowhere. I got the point in the end that Toby saw that Sly just couldn't express his emotions for Megan, which, by the way, I ship them so hard. They're adorable. I can't wait to see her back at some point. But I get that Toby was trying to get Sly to express his emotions by bumping up his anxiety levels, like kind of the person who's afraid of heights. They have this therapy that has them go up on planes or go up on buildings or whatever, so that they have they can get used to it. I like the idea that Toby was trying to get Sly anxious so he could get used to being anxious and learn to deal with the stress, particularly when it comes to telling Megan how he feels. But I just felt the beginning of it came out of nowhere, in a sense. Like, okay, Toby, I know you're bored, but come on, you could have done that even when you were doing your thing with Happy. So I don't think it said as much about Toby as it did about Sly. Sonia, I did like. I actually really like her. I would love to see her come back at some point, and I like that father-daughter thing she had going on with Kate. I always liked that. Like those relationships, and I thought it was very sweet. So I would like to see her come back at some point. Maybe she gets a job in a Interpol or something. She's good at it, at locating criminals, I guess. So, maybe they can bring her back at some point. And then Happy didn't have much to do, but she was hilarious in the scene in the bank. That was hilarious. Like, here, have a sausage. Just like dying. So I really hope they give her something better to do. Like, it was kind of, because last time, I guess the last thing we heard from her was that she was scared of being with Toby, and then this episode it's just nothing. So that was kind of off for me. Like, I wish they would have said more about that. Toby just mentioned that she was sort of freezing him out, I guess, or putting them in a timeout or whatever. But I would have loved to see why she's actually pushing away. Because if this is just the same thing she was doing last season, then there's really no point. As far as particular scenes go, I really, like, most of it was pretty slow for me, so I didn't much care for most of it. But the few scenes I really liked, were, like, for example, when they were in the hotel and they were actually having this kind of thought session where they actually, after Sly memorized the guidebook, and they were actually using his memory of the guidebook to locate this dude, and how they just kind of all chimed in so they could zero in on him at the barbershop. That was pretty cool. The scene at the barbershop itself was pretty cool too. I really like the idea that they were going to get the blood via barbershop rather than jumping him as the Cuban dudes had suggested. So I thought that was pretty cool. But for the most part, the rest of it, I didn't really care for it. It didn't really get me. It seemed way too easy. So I guess this time around, my disbelief just held on. I held on to it pretty hard. So I guess we'll see. Not the best episode, but it wasn't terrible either. It was just a little bit boring. We'll see then what happens in the next one. And hopefully it'll be a bit more involved, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will see you guys later. Be sure to stop by our website, thegeekypub.com, for more Scorpion reviews, as well as reviews from other TV shows, books, movies, you name it, we got it. So be sure to check it out, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.